You okay to talk about it?
Yeah. Right. It's not an upsetting personal reason.
Okay, cool.
I like the kind of stuff that the Postmodern Jukebox do. I'm surprised I didn't know about them before. But I also really like the string quartet tribute stuff that exists out there. Because they tend to do bands that I like as well, or have tended in the past to do bands that I like. And my absolute favourite is Please Please Let Me Get What I Want. Their string quartet cover of the Smiths track.
Right.
But actually, Muse also did a cover of that track that was pretty good quality.
You should also check out Deftones did a cover of it as well. It's a popular one for a lot of people, isn't it?
But the reason why the string quartet tribute version is because it's the song Emma walked down the aisle to at our wedding.
Oh, that's very, very nice.
But I kind of like anything that's done by bands I like or of bands I like, regardless, I suppose. The few covers that are on the Nirvana MTV Unplugged have always been
like Man Who Sold the World and stuff like that. Yeah, that's cool. I have a favourite song that I like to hear covered more than anything else, because 2 or 3 people that I like have covered it. It's Jolene by Dolly Parton, which in of itself is a good song, but like on first couple of listens you don't get the kind of... The song is in kind of contrast to the lyrics in terms of it's fairly jolly and what have you, but actually the song is basically about a woman begging this pretty girl not to steal her husband, essentially. But the White Stripes did a cover version of it when they played live in Blackpool. I'm sure they've done other cover versions of it as well. But the whole video...
I've heard the White Stripes version.
The White Stripes version is fantastic. That's really good. And then another band I like that do covers called Me First and the Gimme Gimmes. They covered it as well. Now, if you like cover bands, Me First and the Gimme Gimmes are... one of these super groups that kind of forms up. I can't remember who the other people are, but the lead singer is the guy out of NoFX, and they do punk rock covers of like all sorts of stuff. So they've done kind of show tunes, and they've done country songs, and they've done all sorts of stuff. It's well worth checking out. They've got a massive back catalogue. In fact, one of their albums is a live album where they just did some kids' bar mitzvah in like a room with about 50 people, which is very cool. So Jolene is the one I like to hear. So my favourite cover probably Jolene by the White Stripes, I would say.
Good stuff.
There we go, yeah.
Bernard JKD got in touch and said, I have a request. Can you read out the attendances, please, for Super League matches a la This Week in League? I struggle to find them reported.
Well, I'm going to consider your request and you'll find out later, mate.
I'm going to tell them to buy a trade newspaper. They're always reporting that. No, I write them down for you every week, don't I? It's just they don't always necessarily get mentioned, but we will start to make sure we check them off there.
We'll see. It's gone to committee.
Has it?
Yes.
All right.
He's got the committee.
Well, if you missed them out when you were putting the rundown together, they're in the bit that I added in with the...
There might be one that's missing because they weren't published and I've taken a photo. I've had to listen, right, and we'll come to this later on.
They're all there, Tom.
To give everybody a clue about the pressure I felt myself under contributing to the rundown. When there were bits on the website where there were no stats available, I've had to take photographs of my computer screen to show Mark the date and time.
I wasn't going to quality check.
I was looking for them to make sure he didn't think I've just tossed it off. So it gives you all an idea of the pressure I labour under once every 9 to 10 months.
Yeah, I was going to say, so much pressure doing it every now and again.
If nothing else, it gives me a reaffirms my appreciation for the hard work you put in.
Okay.
I would say. Who's next then? Bob Phillips.
Says, cracking episode as always, with a very impressive range of mini rants. And cardiology isn't that hard, winky face.
Hey up. Do you think there's rivalry between oncologists and cardiologists?
So Saeed can do it at the same time as he's doing his rugby league career, obviously.
Do you think it's kind of like the Jets and the Sharks in West Side Story between the cardiologists and the oncologists? Like,
I do see a lot of
like the Bloods and the Crips.
I do see a lot of clicking when they're walking past each other in the corridor. Yeah.
Checking the stethoscopes at each other. Pete Jackson.
He says, yet another fantastic episode, guys. I listen in smaller chunks and it sees me through commuting for the week. Well done.
There you go. Pete also got in touch with us via Twitter and echoed the love for Postmodern Jukebox as well.
He also mentioned a band called the Lounge Kittens, who seem to be sort of an all-female version of what Richard Cheese does. So
there you go.
Same sort of situation as the Scott Bradley Postmodern Jukebox too.
There you go. And the final tweet that
they're on tour in April, these Lounge Kitten people, because I went and checked out the Twitter profile and just saw that. There
you go. Look at you pimping out all these cover acts. Chris McKeown sent us a tweet, and I wish he hadn't done, really, because it seems like I've been involved in a burglary.
Is this you
holding up a petrol station down south somewhere? Chris sent us video footage of a guy wearing the same shark costume as me, robbing a BP.
Have you sent it to Dom yet?
No, not yet. No, I need to get that packaged up. It's on the list.
I can't say I'm shocked that you haven't sent it. I am relieved. I am relieved that you haven't sent it, because I don't think it would. It didn't look like it could have been you, but it could have been Dom.
It could have been. Well, listen. All that says to me is that you think that Dom looks like the sort of guy that could, make the leap to hold up a petrol station.
Just if he needs a bit of spare cash.
I don't think Dom's shy of a bob or two. Right, that's your feedback and shout-outs taken care of, unless you've got any other cover bands you want to plug.
No.
We've pretty much got them all, haven't we? Right, let's take a look now at news then from around the world of Rugby League. So, to the news then, and we'll start at the AJ Bell this week, Mark. Salford Red Devils fullback Gareth O'Brien has signed a new 3-year contract with the club. The 25-year-old joined the Red Devils from Warrington for the 2016 season, and of course famously scored the drop goal that saved Salford from relegation last October. He kicked the goal in golden point extra time, in fact, to give Salford that 19 to 18 points win over Hull KR, ensuring that the Red Devils avoided the drop. I feel like he's an integral part of my vision for the team moving forward, said Salford head coach Ian Watson. O'Brien went on to say, I've loved my time at Salford so far, and hopefully with the group we have, we can continue to develop and make big achievements as a club.
Good piece of business, and a player who deserves sort of a bit more contractual recognition at the club, I guess, with what he's done for them and how he's played so far this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Leeds Rhinos this week have extended the loan deals for Josh Jordan-Roberts, Mikolaj Olejki and Sam Hallas with Kingston Press Championship side the Bradford Bulls. Jordan-Roberts and Olejki have featured in all of the Bulls. They all featured in the Bulls' win against Toulouse on Sunday, whilst Hallas is currently recovering from an injury. Having completed their initial 1-month loan, the Rhinos are now able to recall the players, if required, on a week-to-week basis. They were set to renew Jordan Lilly's loan too before he was recalled for Leeds' game against Cass on Thursday. Staying with the Rhinos, Mark. Sorry? Do you want to add?
No.
Staying with the Rhinos, Leeds have loaned halfback Corey Aston to Featherstone. Aston, who has already appeared for the Rovers on dual reg this term, joins the club in order to gain more playing opportunities. Super League side Lee Centurions have joined up with League One club Whitehaven on a dual registration partnership. The Haven partnership complements the agreement the Centurions have with Championship side Sheffield Eagles. Players from Lee will be available for both teams when not required by their parent club. We are happy to also add to that to facilitate a game opportunity for where Sheffield weren't in need of any of our players, Leona Derek Beaumont said. Whitehaven's general manager Amanda Hewer, I wonder if she's related to Gareth Hewer in some way, because he's a Cumbrian as well. I wonder if they're a bit of a Rugby League family. She said, Lee have a lot of depth in their squad, and we have suffered immensely during the off-season due to injuries and suspensions. This partnership will allow us to cover any shortfalls in our team. Gone.
I wouldn't like to be the rental car supplier to Lee Centurions players, because they're going to be putting a lot of miles on those clocks, aren't they? With these two dual reg deals.
Yes, they certainly are, aren't they? Huddersfield's Lee Gaskell has assured supporters that he is in good health after news emerged that he missed Huddersfield Giants game with Hull last week due to heart issues. Gaskell underwent tests in hospital on Tuesday after suffering an anxiety attack, which resulted in him missing training on Wednesday. The 26-year-old felt fine on Thursday morning, but after reporting to the club for the game, he started feeling unwell and pulled out of the match on the recommendation of doctors. So a very sensible approach by player and club to a young man's well-being.
Definitely,
you would say.
Yeah, hope it's not too serious, and I hope he can learn to manage whatever condition it is that underlies his issues that he's having.
Yeah, certainly, absolutely. The draw was made, Mark, for the fourth round of this season's Challenge Cup, and it was made down in Plymouth of all places. The draw in full sees Hull Kingston.
Did you watch the draw?
No.
Was it on HMS Belfast? Was that the boat?
Yes, it was. Yeah, yes.
I didn't realise that the Yorkshire Pros guy. He's in the Navy.
Oh right.
He was there
Yeah, I saw some links and stuff, but I didn't click on it.
Yeah, he was there, but
he's an impressive gent.
Definitely.
Okay, so the draw in full then for the fourth round of the Challenge Cup sees Hull KR taking on the Sheffield Eagles. Swinton are at home to London Scholars. Bradford Bulls will play Featherstone Rovers in a repeat of the 1972 final. Toulouse Olympique 13 will play the Batley Bulldogs in the south of France, or southern France. Oldham take on Haydock, the only remaining amateur side. University of Gloucestershire All Golds will host Doncaster. Whitehaven play Oxford. York City Knights will play the Rochdale Hornets. London Broncos take on the Toronto Wolfpack in their, that's one of the big draws of the round, isn't it? Dewsbury Rams will host the Newcastle Thunder. Halifax will have Hunslet come to the Shea. Barrow Raiders take on Keighley Cougars, and all ties are going to be played coming up fairly soon over the weekend of March 18th and 19th.
Yeah.
What stands out for you in the draw? Anything got the mouth watering?
Not too many upset opportunities. I think like maybe a couple of the lower League One sides could do something against one of the bigger ones. So maybe the All Golds could upset Doncaster with their form, or Oxford could upset Whitehaven the way they've been playing. Newcastle Thunder against Dewsbury stands out as the most likely upset of one club from the division below, sort of thing. And obviously if Haydock can do something against Oldham, that would be remarkable. They're already like the lowest placed side to have ever got this far. Yeah,
it's in phenomenal achievement.
So well done to that club.
Absolutely. London Broncos versus Toronto leaps out of me. I wouldn't necessarily call it an upset opportunity given the start that Toronto have had to life in League One and given their playing staff and budget, but it'll be interesting to see those two sides come up against each other, because it will represent a bit of an acid test.
Official pitches in London, they seem to know what they're doing.
Yes, they certainly do. Reece Lynn has this week signed a contract extension at Wakefield Trinity, keeping him at the club until the end of 2019. Decent piece of business for both club and player. Now, Mark, normally our round finalies take a little lighter-hearted look at things, but I wanted this week to go a bit more serious with it, because there's a piece of news that came out this week that really, I wouldn't say struck a chord with me, because it doesn't mirror anything that's ever happened in my life, but it really upset and really angered me in some respects. It was the news that Castleford Tigers chief executive Steve Gill was assaulted in Castleford town centre. The Super League leader said that the attack happened on Bridge Street in Castleford early on Friday. A statement from the club thanked the emergency services, who it said were called to the scene and responded quickly. A 58-year-old man has been arrested and remains in police custody. The Tigers wish Mr Gill, who's now recovering at home, a speedy recovery. Steve Gill's association with his hometown club began many years ago when he operated the Scoreboard. He held the role of assistant coach before becoming head of youth in 2008, and 4 years ago he took over from Steve Ferris as chief executive. So, first of all, wishing Steve Gill a swift recovery from what is probably quite a traumatic thing to have had to go through. I was just so furious and upset with not rugby league fans, but just this element of people in the world that think that this is, and for a 58-year-old man that would just think that behaving like this is an acceptable way to live your life based on club rugby league allegiances. It's sort of, I don't know.
What he is suggesting, that I understand it was someone who was previously known to have a fallout with the club.
Right. Well,
the reports I've read.
Yes, and they might well have previously had a falling out with the club.
People need to really.
And I know there's bigger.
More grown up, don't
I know there's bigger problems in the world. Do you know what I mean? But it's just guy walking down the street. It's ridiculous, and it's just this element of society that absolutely I've got zero tolerance for. This approach to life and people who think that this is okay.
Of course. And whatever your feelings are, like violence isn't the way. Street violence isn't the way to address it.
No, I think it's particularly cowardly.
Yeah.
So it just got my goat up. And it's not really a Tom rant or a Mark rant, but it just, do you know what I mean? I thought it warrants talking about, and you know.
Well, hopefully,
just been getting it off my chest more than else.
Steve Gill back at home and possibly even back to work already this week. He seems to be recovering, and that's a good thing to come out of this, because it's totally unnecessary. Yeah. Thing that we don't like to be talking about. No.
But that's your hand finally out of the way. Right. We're making good time so far on the Super League pod. Let's take a look back now. I'm sure we'll find a way to pad it out as we take a look back at round 3 of Super League.